All right, Nevada. We are testing out a little live stream right now because we were sitting down to record a podcast and we remembered that due to the fact that sometimes it takes a little time to edit, put everything together, get a player interview, all these fun things, the Ballers may or may not have clinched the postseason by the time this episode airs. So we thought, heck, let's just fire up a live stream. Let's walk through some of the scenarios and let's just talk about what's at stake for the Oakland Ballers as they enter this homestand, which starts on Tuesday against the Vibe. So here's where we stand as of right now, everybody. And if you want to leave a comment during this, we will do our best to answer it. We got 10 minutes here. The Ballers have won 11 games in a row. The Ballers have swept a 6-game series for the first time ever in Ballers history. They have already clinched the best first half or second half, any half, in the history of the Oakland Ballers franchise. And things are absolutely cooking as we head to what could be a playoff clinching series at home. But wait, how can the Ballers already clinch the playoffs and home field advantage by the first half, Nevada? What is happening?
It's bonkers, Casey. I mean, this 11-game win streak. All I know is I show up with the team in Boise against a good Hawks team, and they lost the first game. It was a heartbreaker. Then they win 5 in a row. It's like, all right, we'll take that. We'll take that nice little win streak. We've done the 5-game win streak a few times now this season. And then I leave, and I'm on assignment. Not in Oakland right now, sadly. But the Ballers just keep winning. So I guess they don't need me anymore. So that's a good sign. But what's happened is this team is playing such good baseball. They're hitting, they're pitching, they're defending. You do all those three things well. You capitalize on mistakes, which is what happened in that Rocky Mountain series last week. And that is how you become a playoff team. And right now, as it stands, Casey, the Ballers are in first place in the Pioneer League by their lonesome above Missoula, and they're 2 games clear. So you're at a point now in the Pioneer League season where the magic number for the Ballers to get a playoff spot in the first half is just 3. 3 wins, 3 Yuba Setter losses, or a combination of both. And the Ballers are in the playoffs. And then the second half of the season doesn't really matter as much. Obviously, the team will still want to win games then. But you'd love to lock up a playoff spot in the first half. That makes things a little bit more comfortable in the second half. And at this point, the Ballers have to take advantage of this opportunity in front of them because it is an exciting one.
Yeah, so after winning 11 straight games, following a tough loss, when that happened, I said, I know they're going to bounce back from this. Boy, did they ever. If you look at it right now, let's just explain, because I know it's very confusing. I work for a Pioneer League team, and I'm confused. The way this works is 2 teams from the first half are winners of the first half, where 1 and 2 in the playoffs through the first half get a playoff berth. They get home field advantage. It essentially doesn't really matter until you get to the championships, whether you're the first or second seed in that first half, but you would obviously love to be the first. And then 2 teams from the second half also clinch playoff berths. Those 2 teams play the teams that are home field first half. So you really want to win the first half. The Ballers are in position to do so. Again, it doesn't matter what anybody else does if the Ballers just keep on winning. Right now, that's exactly what they're doing.
And what you talk about, Casey, with the first half teams getting the bye, or not the bye, but the home field advantage in the playoffs, that's something that's new this year. That was not the case last year. And that's why you've seen such a good battle among these top teams in the Pioneer League towards the end of this first half. That's why the Ballers have won 11 in a row, and Missoula's 7 of their last 10. Yuba Sutter, 7 of their last 10. Ogden has won 7 of their last 10. Boise and Rocky Mountain were both in the hunt. They got basically knocked out by Oakland. Idaho Falls, they're still in the thick of it. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games, but they're only 5.5 back of Oakland and only 3.5 back of Missoula. So now it's the paddleheads who are sweating a little bit with these teams so close behind them.
Yeah, so this next homestand, if you come out, you have a chance, a really good chance, to see the Ballers clinch a playoff berth. It's critical that everybody shows up, cheers, supports these guys. You don't want to miss the celebration should it occur. Again, all of this, if you're listening right now, is for planning purposes only. plan to come to Raimondi Park, will plan to keep an eye on the standings and keep an eye on the win streak and all these other things, just for planning purposes, obviously. We don't believe in jinx. We don't want to jinx anything, but,
for planning purposes only.
Planning.
Wednesday could be the day. That's as soon as possible. If the Ballers win and the High Wheelers lose on Tuesday, then a Ballers win Wednesday puts Oakland into the playoffs, and then you could see them dogpile on the field at Raimondi. So that would be a pretty sweet sight. And it's something that the Ballers didn't get to do last year because, if memory serves, it was in Davis, California, when they clinched the playoffs last season in the second half, away from home. And so a chance to clinch the playoffs in the first half on your home field. Does it get better than this, Casey?
No, it doesn't get better than that, and it doesn't get better than knowing that you will be hosting all of the games in that playoff series, because this year in the Pioneer League, if I'm not mistaken, the home field advantage team hosts the entire series. So it's even more important to win this first half and get these W's in this upcoming series. Definitely make sure you're ready to buy your tickets for Wednesday or whatever game that you plan on figuring out when this may happen. Obviously, we'll know more each game. But, one thing, Nevada, I want to kind of point out is this team is really cooking in a way where they're scoring a ton of runs. There's a 22-0 victory in this previous series. There was a long stretch of games in which this team, the Oakland Ballers, scored 10 runs or more every single game. I think it was 6 or 7 games in a row.
Yep.
And I kept seeing all the comments, all the people on social media talking about, well, it's just easy to score in the Pioneer League. That's not a big deal. And then to that I would reply, Nevada, if it's so easy to score in the Pioneer League, how come the score is 20-0? How come we have pitchers like Luke Short and Dylan Matsuoka throwing up tons of zeros? How come the relievers on our team are absolutely dialed? How come the Ballers have the best team ERA in the entire Pioneer League, Nevada, if it's so easy to score runs in the Pioneer League?
Hey, that's when you give them. That's when you give him the Tremaine Cobb Jr. right there. What's that? That's right. Let him hear it, Casey. That's right. It is very difficult to prevent runs in this league. That's the caveat. Yes, it's easy to score runs, but a team like Idaho Falls, for instance, which was one of the top 2 teams entering, I think 3 weeks ago in the Pioneer League, they've played some games where they've given up a lot of runs, and as a result, they've fallen down to 4th. Now they still very much have a chance to make the playoffs in the first half, but as of now, you look at Oakland and Missoula. Why are they the top 2 teams? Well, it's pretty easy. You go to the team stats, you sort pitching, you go to ERA, and guess who is number 1 and guess who's number 2? It's Oakland and Missoula. And Glacier is right there, number 3. Yuba Sutter is actually 4th, and that's why the High Wheelers have been able to be such a resilient foe, the pesky team that just won't go away in this first half playoff race. But yeah, what a series it was in Rocky Mountain, man. The pitching was amazing. A Nick Leahy 3-homer game deserves a shout. That was unbelievable. And yeah, Ballers are riding high right now.
We have a live question there, Nevada. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. I'd like you to address this because that is, I believe, correct. After head-to-head, because we have not played the High Wheelers. We have not, had a chance to take them on yet, although it seemed like every game was against High Wheelers last season. The tiebreaker then at that point would be runs allowed, correct? So our pitching doing what it's doing is critical at this time.
Urhaj, as often, right on the money. Yes, it comes down to runs allowed, and if you look at the the runs allowed in this league, Oakland at 221. Next best is Missoula at 252. Yuba Sutter's down at 262. So that's a 40-run difference. Oakland's going to have to play well this week, and if they are able to play well and not give up many runs, as is per usual for the Ballers, then the magic number really is 2. But that's kind of with an asterisk next to it because you still got to win that tiebreaker. And Yuba Sutter pitches very well. And so they'll probably have a lot of games this week where they give up 0 or 1 run. I expect at least 1 shutout or 1 run win in which they allow just 1 run for Yuba Sutter this week.
Nice. All right. I only had Nevada until 2 o'clock. We'd already recorded a whole other podcast conversation. And then we realized that due to the timely nature of the Ballers standing situation, we should just knock out a quick live stream, do everything that people can watch as it's happening, and get an understanding of what's going on ahead of Tuesday, which we will also be welcoming the 1975 Cardiac Kids NBA champion Warriors to Ramondi Park. So come by and check that out, because that is going to be an awesome game. Make sure that you're here to support the Ballers at Ramondi Park as they have a chance to clinch the postseason and hopefully keep this winning streak going, all for planning purposes. Planning purposes, of course. We'll do this again, though, and we'll make it a lot longer so more people have a chance to weigh in. But we just wanted to provide a little bit of explanation for what's going on and how these standings are working out, because things are a little confusing but very, very exciting, right, Nevada?
Yes, confusing, exciting, and most of all, exciting. I mean, Ramondi Park's going to be rocking next week. Be there.
All right. See you guys.
Peace.